And well, we have some breaking news coming in right at the top of this segment. This is a post that has been made by the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who has called the G20 meeting a successful summit. And he has clicked a selfie. He's also posted a selfie that he has clicked with Prime Minister Modi at the summit. He has tweeted, and I quote, "A successful G20 meeting hosted by Narendra Modi in New Delhi today, followed by a good bilateral discussion about concluding the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement between Australia and India." This is the highlight that we are getting. And well, remember, only earlier this year during the month of May, Prime Minister Modi had made a visit to Australia, and it was a very successful visit. There was a multifaceted India-Australia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership that had been spoken on, and this particular Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement that has also been spoken about at the G20 summit, at a bilateral discussion between these two parties. We have Abhishek joining us back in this conversation to continue the discussion on the importance and the significance of this meeting between the Australian Prime Minister and Prime Minister Modi. Abhishek, he has tweeted about the bilateral discussion concluding the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement. How are we looking at this update, and what are our takeaways from it?
Well, I think a lot of African countries are happy that now their voice will be heard at a global platform, which has until now been very selective grouping of high-income group countries or very powerful emerging economies like India, Brazil, and countries like South Africa. But with the inclusion of African Union, clearly the agenda for future of G20 grouping is said that they want an inclusive growth where the countries from around the world should be included in common prosperity, common achievements, and irrespective of whether the size of country is small, the number of population is not significant, the inclusion of African Union with 55 countries under the grouping would pave the way for this grouping to be more inclusive and development oriented. There have been certain policy announcement also that will work around financial inclusion, energy transition, cyber security, overall social, economic development, women empowerment. That is quintessential of the overall development agenda of these smaller countries. So Kenyan President's tweet regarding expressing his happiness over the inclusion of African Union is something that goes in the line with the overall developmental and inclusive growth agenda that the G20 has talked about, especially under the Indian presidency. It has underlined it by making sure that African Union becomes permanent member of this grouping.
Right, absolutely.